Good morning, team.
Good morning.
Happy birthday, Alex.
Well, thank you.
All right, so we got a cool adventure today. It's in Richardson, Texas, which we all three grew up in Richardson, Texas. It's a guy that I met, I believe, in 1980 or 81 in high school. He was a local guy that owned a really cool gas station, which Mom used to go to.
Yeah.
Texaco Station. I think every car guy knew him. He chased Corvettes and he did some Jeep stuff, so naturally we ran into each other. Well, we bought and sold and traded some cars back and forth. He called me this week and said, hey, I'm about to retire and I'm going to go to my ranch. So I've got two really special Corvettes and one of them I bought from you, because I don't remember when. Yeah, I said, well, which one was it? He said it was a very special 69 Corvette Roadster, a one-off car. So I do remember the car. I remember finding it in El Paso, but I don't remember if it was 10 years ago or 15 years ago. There's something about that car was really special. He goes, and then I finally got the Corvette that everybody in Richmond was chasing about 10 years ago. I'm like, you got the one owner 67, nicely optioned roadster. He said,
Cool.
yep.
You've talked about this once or twice.
Yeah, everybody chased it, and he ended up with it because he's a super nice guy. And he actually serviced it for the guy some over the years. And then he's got one special late model car on the driveway that the market's hot on right now. So we're going to try to get those three in a package deal. The last time I talked to him, he said no, but I think I can talk him into it. So
Make it happen.
Cool.
y'all grab your cup of Joe and let's go. Everybody got the memo, wore their shirts today.
Yes, we did.
Well, I believe we're in the right spot. Hey, security, look at that. Open sesame.
It's a cool looking garage door.
That's indeed. It's almost like you knew I was coming.
Said you were coming.
How are you, sir?
I'm good.
Good to see you.
You bet. Alex.
Alex Bowling.
Right, Marino.
I'm Kelsey.
Kelsey Collins.
Kelsey, how are you?
Good, how are you?
How you do this?
And my mom was speaking really highly of you this morning too, which
Really?
is cool, so yeah.
Cool.
I'm happy to be on this one.
Believe it or not, I've known your dad for
Longer than he's known me.
long very, very long time. We were both very young, and I didn't have this. And well, you got a little girl.
I got a little girl.
He's
Yeah.
still pretty. Got his hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were trying to figure out what year it was when I met you, and because I had my black Corvette in high school, which was an 81.
In '86, I bought my first Corvette, and then I bought that '62 Roadster, that red Roadster that Gary restored for me.
Okay.
So it had to be somewhere around '86.
Okay.
'86, '87. He used to ride wheelies
Oh, I know. I've heard
up
all
and
the
down
stories from mom.
544, and I
That
thought,
and the
I
tollway
hope he
and-
doesn't fall.
I used to ride wheelies everywhere.
I
That's
haven't
for
seen
sure.
my mom put her foot down on very many things, but that one was like, maybe we should keep all wheels on the ground.
He's a good guy.
Yeah.
We got to keep him around. Anyway, dude, these are the cars I was telling you about.
Well, this one I remember, but I don't remember when I sold it to you. I remember where it came from. I remember the story in the car, but I don't remember how many years it's been.
It's been a long time. This car had to be 20 years.
That long. I told Kelsey 10 or 15, but
No, it's longer than that. I bought that corner from Exxon in '93, and I remodeled it and reopened late '93, early '94. So it was before then.
okay, so that's 28 years.
Long time.
Long time. So
Hey,
even
very,
back in the
very long
day, I was always the young guy, and you were one of the guys that always.
Kid.
No, but that's what you guys used to always call me, because I was always chasing the Chevys and the Mustangs and the Corvette. But he was always incredibly nice. I appreciate that. I mean, you just
Well, you always been
took me and Kevin in and treated us like.
good people. I do. The other people, I show them the gate.
So
The gate. But anyhow, that's the same car that you brought me. In fact, he brought me the car and wouldn't even let me pay for gas.
That sounds like him.
Honest to God, he put it on the
Yeah.
trailer, brought it to me. I said, how much do I owe you for delivery? He says, nothing.
He says nothing because he had
And
so much fun driving it out there.
And I
that-
said, well, wait a minute. How about, let me at least buy your gas? And he goes, I can buy my own gas, I'm good.
I love it.
And that was it.
Well, I called him because I was in El Paso looking at this car, and said, I don't know what you're going to think about this. He goes, all right, well, hit me. I said, it's Riverside Gold with blue interior. He's like, that's impossible. I'm like, well, it is. I said, but they finally got tired of it over time, and people were giving them so much aggravation, they painted it white.
So I called the old lady after you left. I double checked the trim code. I called it, it's Riverside Gold, white blue interior. So I called this lady up, and I said, I got a question for you. She says, what's that? I said, I have never seen a Riverside Gold with bright blue interior, 69 through 72 in my life. And I have been all over. Never. They're either black interior or they're tan. One or the other.
Well, he's good at finding the one-offs.
So she says, well, baby, it was Riverside Gold, bright blue interior.
Yeah, she told me the same story. She said she actually went in, I think somewhere in the paperwork it reflects some of this, but she went in and the guy's like, look, I don't, you need to leave a big deposit on this. So she did. They kicked it back. Chevrolet kicked it back because they thought, because if it got kicked back, they went to the dealer and they had to floor it. Chevrolet didn't want any part of this. So that's what it ended up happening. She paid for the whole car at the dealership for them to build that.
Yeah. But anyhow, it's held up well, runs and drives. Hadn't had a sticker on it for a while, like 9 years.
Paint still looks good.
Yeah, paint's still pretty good for all the movement around it's had. Let's see if it's gonna do.
Wow, look, smog's still on it.
Make
with
me
the
look
smog
good.
pump.
No sticker.
Check it out.
You're gonna have a whole lot of work on this now.
It needs a lot of cleaning.
Well, we're good at cleaning. We're good at everything. What a cool driver though. Power steering, power brakes, automatic, air conditioning, telescope, but tilt telescope.
Yep. Tilt and Shelly.
Okay, so
Little
reverse lockout. So I keep parking on that because we just went through that. We had a Cougar at the shop. The key was stuck in it. The guy had changed it from a manual call to a tilt call to have reverse lockout. Well, the sleeve was turned.
I'll be darned.
So you wouldn't think about that because it was an automatic car. So somebody had taken a reverse lockout column because they wanted to tilt and put it in there. And everybody's coming, we can't get the keys out, we can't get the keys out. I'm like thinking, ugh. So I reached in there, click. They're like, why did you do that? Because it's a reverse lockout column. But I can't remember seeing this sticker before. Look at that sticker, Alex. That is so cool. This is rotating interlock. Do not manipulate damage.
It's like me. It's an old original. There's not many like it.
Certified.
But that lockout on this is on an automatic.
Yeah.
Which is usually just on a 4-speed reverse. Huh. Well, there you go.
Hey man, I'm telling you, it's
That's
a neat
all
old car. And you know, I think we both agreed when you delivered this car's never, ever been damaged, never wrecked. It has all the original chrome.
So let's see the mythical 67 that everybody heard about, but evidently you were the only guy that knew where it was.
All right,
Because everybody knew there was a one-owner 67 floating around.
all right, so here's the deal.
I mean, some of these cars, I mean, you and I, we've chased them our whole life. I have cars in there that I still chase, that I've been chasing for 30 years. You know, and Alex has been on some of these buys, and you're like, well, how long have you been talking to this guy? I'm like, 25 years. He's like, what?
Yeah.
I mean, some of them come up quickly, but 67 Corvettes has always been my favorite.
It's the best.
I think it's the best of the best. They drive the best, they look the best, but I don't know how many one-owner 67s are still out there.
Not
Well,
many.
Not many. Even though you and I are dealers, this is still technically a one-owner car because the title's never been transferred. Good
Neither
options.
has the 69.
Yeah, I remember picking that title up when it was new, so that's still a one-owner car technically. And these are both numbers matching cars, which I don't need to check them because he has. I've known him
They're
forever.
original as original can be.
In an Air Roadster, even in 67 or Air Coupe, I don't remember what the production numbers were, but they weren't a ton of air-conditioned cars in 67. Alex, peek your head in there and see how many miles are on this one.
Either 200 or 102.
I think it's 102, but
Yeah, I'm sure it's 110.
I think it's 102. But, and the other neat thing about the car, it had factory original bolt-on wheels.
Wow, that is rare.
Very, very rare.
What color is the top on this car? The soft top, do you know?
I have no idea. I've never
So in all those time, all those years you were looking at, the hard top always stayed on it.
hadn't been off.
That's neat.
I have never even looked at it. There's more junk back there that he gave me.
I think the vinyl covering on that hard top is relatively rare too. Most of them are painted.
Yeah, and the glass, all the glass is good.
So it's Marino blue on blue, black top,
Wow.
AC. What a great car. It looks so original under the
I got a
hood.
little surprise for you too at the shop.
Okay, what's
The
that?
original spare tire.
Gotta have that.
It's worn out, but it's the original. That's how Dan
But you
was.
still have it.
It's on the wheel, and I have it. It's the original. It smells it too, doesn't it? It's got that old car
Love
smell.
it. Tears, totally original. Got a seam coming loose on the driver's seat, but I don't know. I think this car is very along the lines of the Shelby that just needs to stay the way it is and just needs to be mechanically serviced. What do you think, Alex?
I love it.
No, it's not your birthday present, but you can work on it and drive it for your birthday present. So Alex is 23.
Okay.
And he's been with me for quite a while, so we started.
So
getting
you get to
together.
restore it, or are you the one that's going to be working on it?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, he'll do all the work on both of them. And then Kelsey will do all the marketing on them if and when we decide to sell them.
Yeah.
Do you live in the undercarriage? You're not going to have a whole lot of work down there.
I
So.
got
That's why I
It is.
It's like it's been restored, but it hasn't.
Clean that is. Well, that's, having a car that's been in Richardson all my life.
Yeah.
No flash rust, nothing. I think both of these aren't going to be a huge fight for you. He said you've got new stainless exhaust for this car?
Yeah.
Okay.
The tub, the original spare. I think there's even the original window sticker. I told you he put some type of a kill switch. I was looking yesterday, even has the instruction.
I love that.
I wish I'd have read that earlier.
Is that what this is under the hood?
That's where that little,
That's what that is? Okay.
I guess
You might need to know that if you just try to get it running.
it'll run. You don't have to do anything. But put a battery in it.
Battery
Billy
exhaust.
came over to bring a battery so it would drive, because I was going to make it. It hadn't been started, but I did want to bet him $100 it would start if we had a good battery. But you got to take the left front wheel off in order to change that battery. You can't get a battery in or out of there. This is something you rarely ever find. Originally, when these cars were built and delivered, they have a chrome ring, a stainless ring around the tag. It's very cool.
It makes such a huge difference finding a car like this that's been stored correctly and in this climate. Because we go all over the country buying this stuff, but I mean, the chassis of this thing looks amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing.
Texas cars bring rain.
Yeah.
They're the best. But if you look up front, I mean, that's his original, or the tag he had on it when I got the car, and it has also the stainless ring.
Okay, well, you told me the first time you called me you wanted to clean your garage out. And then the second time I talked to you, you're like, I don't know that I meant the Hummer as well, but I want to buy all three of these. I don't want to just buy the two vats.
Man, we may have to call my daughter. First of all, that's the car I promised her.
Uh-oh. Okay, the Corvette.
The
Oh, you are
69.
definitely gonna get in trouble.
No,
For sure.
How many miles on the H2?
60,445 miles.
60,000 for a short mile H2
I was about to
Hummer.
say, that's a short mile H2.
Yeah, the special wheels.
This
Or actually,
young lady-
upgraded wheels from factory.
I bought it here in Dallas. I looked for about a year. Never did a year. First of all, I wanted a white one. Secondly, I wanted one that hadn't been butchered, lifted, nothing done to it.
Which is hard to find. They've almost all been modified. Let's go inside and arm wrestle over the price real quick, because I know we're close.
Well,
I think I can put a pretty good number on that.
20 years ago, maybe. But now, I don't arm wrestle anything but a fork.
All right, guys, we'll be right back.
Well, I think you got the best of me. Maybe.
No, I don't think so.
Thank you.
I'll learn it. Thank you. And we got all three of them.
Cool. You know the best thing about it, going to a good person, these cars deserve to be spruced up. I think the Hummer, you just give it a good detail. But needs a little TLC on these cars. And I'm happy to see it going to the right person.
Well, we'll get the 2 Corvettes back out in circulation. People enjoying them again. All right, Alex, you got your work cut out for you, sort of, but I'm going to help. That one runs dry, so let's put it in first.
Yeah.
And then we'll push the 67 out, winch it in, and then Kelsey?
I was about to say, I feel
You
like
can
I'm
drive that
probably
home.
going to drive that because there is no way that's
Yeah,
going in the
but
trailer.
You're right, it's not going to go in the trailer.
Is that your TV show?
you-
Yeah.
Yeah.
We start off every
We're
morning
just
making
walking
coffee. We talk
billboards.
about what we're going to do that day.
Oh, okay.
And then we go do it.
Okay.
All right, and if we go do something like this during the day, we just show what's going on in the shop, and that's Coffee Walk.
That's cool. And it's a YouTube y'all do?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
Well, I'll have to look it up.
Get in there, fire it up, Kels.
My neighbors, that's all
Quick start.
Cool, huh? Yeah. Well, the tilt's in a good spot. Okay, we'll guide you in.
Can you warm it up at all, or is it fine?
No, it's okay.
I know you've driven a Gene up, but I'm gonna tell you like I told my daughter, you can't see the last 3 feet, the front 3 feet of the car. So when you even think you're close, you're very close.
No, you're gonna have to. Got her in, Alex. Doing good there, Kels.
A ramp or anything?
Yeah, just go slow.
I did it!
You did? Yes, it is. It sounds like you'd have a dirty car, Mr. Car Wash.
I'm 4 car washes, and I got the dirtiest cars in the neighborhood. And I hand wash my cars out here. I don't go. Kind of have to lift.
Door lock.
No, it's not.
I got it.
There you
Just gotta be ginger. Kelsey.
go. Let's put the lightest way.
Dennis. Wait, you probably.
So you're gonna fill it, unwrap a little bit, Kelsey, and then just break it. Unwrap. See the holes. Okay, all right, let's go. Very good. Keep it straight. Right head down. And now left head down. We're gonna back out.
Take like heck to damage it now after all the years.
Clear over there, Alex. Love it.
Neato
One of my favorite colors too.
Is it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Mine used to be red, but
Love it.
It's a nice trailer. It's a clean trailer.
Mark says 13.
That's awesome. Lucky number 13.
Yeah, lucky 13. 8 years.
Yeah.
Two nice, desirable Corvettes.
Yep.
On their original titles. With great paperwork.
Yeah, he walked up with the titles. I'm like, you're gonna make it easy on me, aren't you?
Love it. All right, well, we'll go get in the Hummer.
Let's.
We're gonna meet him at his Texaco station, get some more paperwork, and help Alex load some more parts in that.
In the third row for the Hummer.
So this is the world famous Texaco that's been here since the early 80s. How cool is that?
Really cool.
He's run this since the early 80s. You want to go get a candy bar? Some candy?
Doors on backwards now.
It's okay.
Walk around first.
Not everything can be perfect. You guys have got to see this.
Yeah, it's unreal. Check out the top. That's the best part.
So back in the day, when you had a lien on a car, this was at the tax office, and it was on Susie Q's Rolodex. That's what these
Hey, you
are right
still
here.
use your Rolodex.
And then when you paid it off, they unlocked the Rolodex and pulled it out, and you got it. So there is the actual 1967 title, dated 12/16/67.
That's really neat.
And all your documentation's in there.
You know what's really sad? Not only am I older than the Big Mac, I'm older than this title. Kelsey reminds me of that often. There we go. Protect the plate, right?
Yep.
Okay. It's one of the things that is a must on a numbers matching car that you don't always get. So protect the plate / warranty card. This is what you'd use when you went into under warranty and they'd run it through and imprint it like that. But the other thing is the protector plate will also prove what motor is in the car if you don't have a tank sticker. Which Frank says the tank sticker's still on the gas tank.
It's still in the gas tank last I looked. Guys, this is the original spare tire came out of the tub of this car. And as you can see, Dan got every mile out of that tire. It's still on it. Check it out. That is an original. Okay?
Is it in here?
I have no idea. I've got so much crap. I really don't have a clue.
You know where it is, Billy?
No, sir. I have nothing to do with Frank Marino's paper business.
And it's done. Thank you, sir. It's great to see you. It's awesome. I'm glad you're doing so well. Thanks again, Frank.
Bye, guys.
That was awesome.
You're
Enjoyed it.
beautiful.
It was nice to meet you.
You bet. Man, you know, it makes me feel, oh,
We are
teenager.
We are old. We just haven't figured it out yet. We got the cars back in the shop. Alex unloaded them last night. He came in early this morning, and he's been working on both the Corvettes. So I want to go back and see what kind of progress he's made. And I also want to see if the tank sticker's on the gas tank. So the shop's running, so there's going to be some background noise. I apologize for that. I got in late this morning. It is what it is. So whatever that means, this is what it is. You get what you get, don't fit. Morning, Juice. What are you doing, Alex?
Guess what showed up?
So I guess we got the other guy's tank out.
Yep.
Is the tank sticker on it?
Yeah, it is.
It is. Aha.
I've already wrapped it up though, but I took a couple pictures.
Okay. So it didn't clean up as well as some of the others we've seen in the past.
No.
Sometimes they just won't clean up, even though this car, no rust, it's just crazy dusty, but must have just got really hot. Tank sticker is on the car. Woo. I see race fuel in the back. Does it run?
Does the Pope wear a funny hat?
He does.
There you go.
Well, let's hear it. So the last time Frank drove this car was in 2013. It's got 13 tags, 13 inspection. Before that, I've spent a ton of time going through the paperwork of this thing last night because I was really interested. He got it in 2010, and that's when he serviced it so he could take Danny Barnes for a couple of rides.
Yeah.
And I guess they rode it a few times between 2010 and 2013 when Frank bought it. Prior to that is when things get really interesting. There's documents from 1975 to 1979, but they all show the same mileage, like around 15,820.
Yeah.
And then in 79, there's a receipt in there for Duran Chevrolet speedometer replacement. Then in 1980, there's an inspection sticker in there. So the last time this car was inspected was 80. The inspection was 181 miles.
Okay, that explains the...
So that explains why the speedometer says 2,700 miles.
Yeah.
So between 1980 in 2010, when Frank serviced to give him a ride, this car only clicked off 2,600 something miles. So the receipts show that the speedometer was locked up for 3 or 4 years, so I'm not saying it had 15,800 miles, but this is not a 102,000 mile car. I think it's somewhere between a 20 and 30,000 mile car. We looked at the trailer, but you said the chassis is crazy clean.
Yeah, I did. It does not look like a 100,000 mile car. It looks more like a 20.
Looks like a 20,000 mile chassis. Let's look at it. So I should have the VIN memorized many times I leave this paperwork. So the last 6 digits are 105080. These tags, Zach, I want you to get in here and look at these 2 tags on the dash. I remember seeing they're just in incredible condition. So we're going to show that because we're going to go down and see if it's got the original transmission in it. Now we checked the motor when we were over at Frank's. He's checked the car. We know this is numbers matching car. Very confident, but let's check the rear end and let's look in the back. Now, I brought a sheet back here for Alex. I made a copy as I was going through all the documents. The original buyer's order was in there, which is phenomenal. Cool. So, got handwritten on here what options were supposed to be in the car. When you first walk back here, you see this posi tag, which is great. Now, this car, he bought it December 9th of '66, so you're gonna need a rear end code, obviously, prior to that. These are really easy to read. 11, 15, 66. That's about the easiest date code you could ever read. And then you've got code AL11, which is when you have the letters and the numbers. It means you got a posi. It's a 308 posi. So we got the original rear end of the car. But again, this is a copy, but I have the original buyer's order, handwritten with the options of the car. Really cool. So let's go to transmission. These are a little bit trickier to see. You got your P number on the other side, but the last 6 digits of the VIN are on the driver's side, usually. So like I said, we want to see 105080. 105080. So there you go. So original motor, original transmission, original rear end. Now here's where it gets crazy. Look how clean this car is. There's no way it's a 102,000 mile car. Like you said, it looks like a 20,000 mile car. Yeah. I'm thinking by the documents it's somewhere between 20 and 30,000 miles. The documents are pretty strong, but Mr. Barnes isn't with us anymore, so we can't absolutely prove that, but you guys look at the bottom of this car.
All I ever did was I put in the first half of the new exhaust on. That's it.
In the old exhaust, the original pipes were here. They were really nice.
Yeah.
And Frank said he took the exhaust off because it was flash rusted. I kind of wish he'd have saved it, but he didn't. Yeah. Do you have those rear pieces?
Yeah.
But look at the front end. Original fuel pump still in the car. In remarkable condition. And it's still got the spin-on oil filter. Hasn't been adapted, which is, you almost never see that anymore. I mean, when was the last time we saw that on one we brought in here?
It's
suspension
rare.
Looks great. It's never been bottomed out. What a cool car. It's always nice when the car gets back to the shop and the story gets better instead of getting worse.
Yep.
So this is one of those kind of cars that the longer you look at it, or the longer I look at it, the happier I am I bought it. A lot of times you get one back and the longer you look at it, you're like, why did I buy that? So there you go. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, tag, share, and follow, and have a great day.
As we said, you and I have chased these cars forever.
Yes.
I had a customer stop in. I had an Exxon at the time, and he stopped in and he says, Frank, come with me, I want to show you something. I said, what do you want to show me? He says, just get in the car, I want to show you something. I said, well, just a minute, let me tell everybody where I'm going. So I got in the car with him. His name was Dan Barnes. I got in the car and we drove about a mile or so from my office, and he stopped the car and he looked over at me. He always wore one of those little Gilligan looking hats, jungle hats, you know, because he was in Nam. And he always wore that hat. And he looked at me, he looked real seriously at me, and he said, Frank, I'm going to show you something, but you got to make me a promise. I said, what's that, Dan? He says, you'll never bug me about it. I know what you're about and who you are and about those cars. He said, you're fixing to show me an old vet, aren't you? And he goes, yep, I am. We get to the house, he opens the garage, and there's this 67 sitting in the garage. He's got cardboard on it, paper on it. I mean, he's beside himself just to show it to me. So anyway, we look at it. He shows me all this paperwork, which I've got all that at the office.
Okay.
And he starts showing me stuff. Well, here's a bulb I took out of it. Here's the original window sticker. Here's the title, that original little title.
The index card title.
Unbelievable amount of documentation. The tank sticker's still on it. And he was knowledgeable of Corvettes. There's a lot of handwritten notes that you're going to get that he wrote. So anyhow, make a long story short, time goes on. Years have gone on. We became friends. His wife started doing business with me. Children did. And Dan got sick, and he thought it was Agent Orange that he had from Vietnam, and his health started to deteriorate. Well, the car was in bad shape. You know, it hadn't been started. The brakes, as they normally do, don't work and so forth. So his wife, Beverly, gives me a call, and she says, Frank, she says, Dan's health has really declined, and he would really love to drive that car one more time. She says, but we've kind of run out of money, and it needs work.
Yeah.
Can you help? I said, hey, tell you what, Bill. I'll come get the car. We'll bring it to the shop. We'll get it all running, do the brakes, blah, blah, blah. And I said, when we're through with it, the only thing you'll owe me is parts when you can. She says, okay, that'd be great. We picked up the car. We got it running, everything. We brought it to their house, and Dan just was standing out in front waiting on us to get there. We pull it up, and he just starts crying. We open the door, we say, Dan, come on, take it around the block. And he shook his head and he says, I can't drive that car. And I said, oh, yes you can, come on, get in the car. So anyway, we took him for a ride. He did not drive the car. And we'd go back about every 2 weeks, pick him up, put him in the car, take him around the block or
That's
so,
awesome.
and put the car back away. Well, anyhow, Dan passed away about 1.5 years after that, maybe less. And Beverly would always come to the shop for service and stuff. And I was walking through the office to the shop, and she says, Frank, she says, I'm getting close. I'm about ready. I said, okay, Beth. I said, whenever you're ready. I said, I made Dan a promise I would never bug y'all about this car, and I'm going to stay with my promise. So anyhow, about 6 months goes on. She's back in for an oil change. She says, Frank, I'm ready. I want you to come look at it. Tell me what you'll give me for the car. I said, okay, Bill. You want to do it today? Before you change your mind?
A lot of times you have to.
Oh, absolutely. So anyhow, I went over there, talked to her, made her an offer. She said, let me think about it. About 2 weeks went by, maybe a little longer. She calls me up and she says, Frank, she said, I got somebody looking at the car this afternoon. Is there any way you can bring me a battery and put a new battery in the car so it'll start and drive for this guy? And I said, wait a minute. What? Somebody's coming to look at it. She says, yeah, this afternoon. I said, well, you can tell that somebody to stay at home because they're not buying that car. I said, anybody, I'm buying the car. So I immediately took off to her house. We negotiated a little bit. Anyhow, we agreed on a price. So I thought, let me get this car out of here. All the documentation stuff's in the car. As I'm walking out of her kitchen to the garage, she says, Frank. I said, yeah, Beverly. She says, I got a confession to make. I said, what's that, Beverly?
She didn't have anybody else come to look at the car.
She said, there was nobody coming to look.
Knew it.
Good move, man. Good move. I said, okay, no big deal. I said, I want the car. So I started to the garage again. She goes, Frank. Yeah, Beverly says, I got another confession to make. I said, what's that? She said, Dan told me before he died that I was to sell this car to Frank Marino and nobody else, and don't take a penny less than what I ended up paying for it.
That's awesome.
That's perfect.
So that's how
it worked
the
out.
car came about.